In a recent video, I talked about how this transformation took me a full year a few years back. And even though I've fine-tuned some things along the way, I've been able to maintain the same healthy weight ever since. Even while doing all of the busy mom things like shuttling kids between football practice, karate, and whatever other new activity they swore that they'd stick to this time. But let me back up and tell you what finally motivated me to make this change in the first place. While these kids, who my mom brain still views as toddlers, are growing into mini linebackers at a rapid pace, I knew I couldn't hide out in the back of family photos forever, which was my MO since every shirt I owned clung to every fat roll that I was trying to hide. And that fear of being the short, roly-poly mom forced to stand in front of her kids is the best thing that ever happened. Because in today's video, I'll show you exactly what I did to get to this point where I don't even mind snapping thirst trap selfies to post in public, and how you can do it too. Meaning feeling comfortable in photos, not snapping thirst traps. Because at 40 plus, a new selfie a day is at least a little cringy. The good news is, fat loss after 40 isn't rocket science like most influencers would have you believe. While it's true that it does take work, intention, effort, and consistency, achieving the goal body you've always dreamed of is something you can absolutely do. But if you keep believing all of the women in those dramatic before and after photos that you scroll past are just special, then you will never lose the weight. As a woman who believed her metabolism just tanked after 40, the real truth is, I didn't have any crazy advantage that anyone else doesn't have. I just got to the point where I was tired of my closet turning into some kind of torture chamber, wondering when my favorite jeans became the enemy. And whenever things got hard, because trust me, things will get hard, I tapped into all of that frustration to keep going. Because I refused to spend another year making excuses about why my scale was stuck, why none of my clothes fit, and thinking that this is just how my life had to be. So I did what most busy moms over 40 won't do. I went all in on sustainable habits that actually work with our crazy schedules and changing hormones. And I made the decision that giving up wasn't an option. If you are a busy mom over 40 whose day starts with someone calling you to drive back to school to sign the permission slip that they forgot to give you, and ends with you wondering where all of your spoons went, listen, I get it. None of us have time. But if you want to succeed at finally losing weight, you have to just figure it out and find the time. In order for me to find time, I had to really assess my day and give up everything that didn't help me reach my goal. I gave up scrolling through other people's highlight reels while sitting on my butt burning next to 0 calories. I gave up binge watching shows about women my age screaming about not liking each other's Instagram posts, unless I was habit stacking and watching from the treadmill, because sometimes an escape like that is important too. And I gave up pretending that I'll just start Monday was actually something that I'd follow through with. Instead of falling for another quick fix trap, I sat down and listed out the habits that I needed to form to actually achieve my goal. And I don't mean the silly habits that some guy in blue blocker glasses swears is the reason that I can't lose fat and all I need to do is pay him $300 for some magical secret that no one else understands. I mean the sustainable habits that actually move the needle, like how much I'm eating, how much I'm moving, am I hitting my protein target, and what's my weight loss trend each week. Over time, I established these habits, tracking and tweaking along the way to fit into my life the way that I actually lived it, which usually meant prepping an extra pound of beef with dinner so I'd have high protein leftovers to heat up as easy lunches throughout the week. Sometimes that meant walking the track while my kids played at the park because I still had 3,000 steps to reach my goal. And yes, that always meant tracking every bite before eating to make sure it fit into my calorie budget and that I wasn't falling short on protein. Because here's the thing about actually achieving this kind of transformation. I didn't just keep scrolling to learn everything about healthy habits that should work. I took action. Chaotic, interrupted, I'm just a real mom doing the best I can kind of action. And that's what got me where I wanted to go. But I would have never gotten there if I didn't follow through with this next step. The thing that finally took me from burnout dieter who was 50 pounds overweight to someone who just naturally stays thin is tracking everything. Yes, you heard that right. I tracked every single bite. That means every chip, every nibble of chocolate, and every mom tax I collected from my kids' plates because apparently finishing their chicken nuggets is just part of my job description. And here's the thing, I didn't give myself any excuses to skip tracking, especially those bites of mac and cheese I ate while cleaning up lunch, the chips I grabbed while packing snacks, and yes, that third cup of coffee that I packed with cream because Tuesday felt like it was 47 hours long. Here's the deal. With any big goal in life, you can't measure what you don't track, and you can't improve what you don't measure. I tracked everything because I wanted results, and I knew I couldn't get to my goal unless I was honest about what I was actually eating. Some days were complete wake-up calls, like realizing that healthy salad I ordered had more calories than a cheeseburger, or that my afternoon snack was basically a second lunch. And the things I was most resistant to tracking were usually the things that I needed to track the most. Like that healthy chicken salad that somehow had 2,000 calories because apparently it's grilled in butter and topped with fried everything. But here's the deal. Your body is keeping score whether you track these things or not. So why not give yourself the best chance at real results by actually knowing what's going on? And if you're still like, lady, I already told you I don't got the time. Tracking what you eat takes less than 1 minute a few times each day. Even if that means you're estimating portions while someone's screaming that they can't find their shoe, tracking is what finally made my scale cooperate for the first time after 40. And while yes, tracking what you eat will get you between 80 to 90% of your results, you won't get very far if you're not also stepping up this next habit. I won't lie. As a busy mom over 40, finding time for 2-hour gym sessions isn't happening. But that doesn't mean I can't move more every day, even if that just means doing lunges in the grocery store parking lot. Okay, so I don't really do that. I mean, it's currently 110 degrees in Arizona. I would literally melt while getting side eyes from the 70-year-olds who actually stuck around for summer. But I do park at the back of the lot, even when it hits 110 degrees. Because weight loss after 40 takes that kind of commitment. Back in the day, I thought 30 minutes on the elliptical made me a fitness superstar. Then I'd spend the rest of the day sitting in carpool lines, at the kitchen table helping with homework, or on the couch folding laundry that never ends. But once I actually started tracking my steps, that's when I learned that I was barely hitting 3,000 steps on a good day, which explains why I felt like I was getting nowhere even though I exercised every day. Turns out, half an hour of cardio doesn't magically cancel out 23 hours of sitting on my butt. So I got creative. Speed walking through Target, taking the stairs anytime that was an option, and parking in the furthest spot, even if someone just pulled out of the first spot that's not marked as handicapped, which is practically the back of the lot in Arizona. But I also had to move my body in other ways that was challenging over 40, like lifting heavy weights and stretching parts that were sometimes a little scary to stretch, but I had to do it so I'd have the ability to lift just a little heavier at my next workout. But here's the thing. All of the movement in the world would never help if I didn't also reel in this next habit that most women over 40 think that they'll just figure out later. The quickest way to sabotage weight loss after 40 is with terrible sleep. When I was waking up at 2 a.m., it wasn't because I was hitting perimenopause. It was because I was stressing my body out all day, every day with unrealistic diets, extreme calorie cuts, way too much caffeine, especially close to bedtime, and basically just doing too much. So once again, this was something I had to figure out if I wanted my fat loss plan to work. I started adding things to my routine like getting early sunlight into my eyes, moving my body early in the day, and eating enough so I didn't feel like a ravenous raccoon when it was time for bed. At the same time, I removed things that negatively affected my sleep, like overdoing caffeine. I quit all stressful diets, And I learned to quit worrying over things that I had zero control over, like not losing a full pound each and every week, because sometimes losing half a pound was the best that I could do. And once I got sleep under control, that's when my cravings disappeared, my energy came back, and I stopped eating cereal for dinner like some kind of sugar-fueled zombie. I had to create boundaries around my evening routine, even if that meant saying no to just one more episode, and yes to actually going to bed by 10 like a responsible adult. But here's the biggest lesson I had to learn before I had any real lasting success. I had to get out of my comfort zone every day with my new habits. Because every day I showed up, there was a new battle to face. On days I was exhausted, I worked out anyway. On days I just wanted pizza, I figured out a way to make a high protein version at home. On the days my brain screamed for the burgers and fries, my mouth still ordered the grilled chicken and rice. Because I would never get into the lean body I wanted making the same choices as this version of me did. And neither will you. You won't get a different body doing the same things that you're doing right now. You have to do something different if you want different results, even if that means doing squats in your living room while your kids are watching and commenting on your form. You have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable if you want to transform your body after 40. Because comfort zones are where dreams go to die. And even though these are the big rocks that will get you exactly where you need to go, your goals will still be out of reach if you don't make this final adjustment. Here's what everyone forgets to mention about this kind of transformation after 40. 90% of it is mindset, with the other 10% being fueling up with enough caffeine just to function. When it came to making this kind of progress after 40, I went all in. Even though I had other responsibilities, I reminded myself of my big goal every day, and that had to be my focus. Most women don't fail because of their metabolism or their age. They fail because they don't believe that they can actually do it. So they focus their attention on all of the wrong things. If you constantly jump from diet to diet, trying keto until you miss bread, then switching to intermittent fasting until you get hangry, you will never get anywhere. Going all in on sustainable habits that work with real mom life is what got me here. Change your mindset right now to the mindset that you can succeed, because you absolutely can. Right now, you have two choices. You can go through another year of feeling frustrated every time you get dressed while feeling exhausted by 3 p.m. Or 12 months from now, you can finally be the energetic, confident mom who finally figured out how to make her health a priority without sacrificing her family. If you're ready to take action on this, I've created a complete roadmap that shows you exactly what 7 full days of fat loss looks like as a busy mom over 40. Watch this video next so you can get started today. And if you need even more support with reaching your goals, let's jump on a call to figure out if we're a good fit to work together with one-on-one coaching. Because remember, I'm not special. And if I can do it, I know you can do it too.